Hey guys, welcome to another edition of the Suburban Driving with Miranda. This week I have a super fun ride. The sun is out, the sky is blue, and I'm here with the 2021 Volkswagen GTI with a 6-speed manual transmission in this beautiful cornflower blue. Almost matches the sky. Let's go for a drive. This week I am in the absolutely fabulous 2021 Volkswagen GTI with a 6-speed manual transmission. Now, the beauty of this GTI is that it's continued to be as reliable and just overall well-built, well-balanced, well-handling over the generations. And obviously it's only gotten better as each generation has seen improvement. Now, this is the last iteration of the GTI like this. So this is the Mark 7, and this is its last year. It's had a really good run, and honestly, from the beginning, when they first announced the Mark 7, and when I first drove, the base GTI, the base Golf, up to the GTI, even the Golf R, the Mark 7 has been such a great Golf body and Golf design from the very beginning, and with good reason. One thing that's apparent across all the GTIs that have kind of been out is that it's just this well-balanced, really easy to drive, well-sorted car. The steering is so on point, and the gear changes, whether you have the DSG, the double clutch automatic transmission, or you have the 6-speed manual, which I have this week. Either way, you're gonna have so much fun with this thing, and the gear changes are so smooth. It's like the car understands what you're gonna do before you're gonna do it, even with the manual, not just a dual clutch transmission, which is kind of what that's meant to do anyways. It's well weighted. It doesn't feel out of sorts no matter what you do. It corners beautifully, and this 2-liter 4-cylinder engine produces 228 horsepower, which doesn't seem like a whole lot, but for a vehicle this size and just the way it handles and feels, you feel like you're driving something that's like 500 horsepower, and that's great. And on the other hand, you have a car that drives like a family hatchback. This is it can be just as calm and controlled as it can be kind of wild and out there. I've tracked this vehicle before, put it up against some other hot hatches that compete directly with it, and this little thing stood its ground. It just, I don't know, it feels like it's on rails 100% of the time. No matter what you throw at it, it handles it. I love this little car, and for the price, of course, there are hot hatches out there that cost less than the GTI, but I think you lose out on part of the quality that Volkswagen puts forth. Something as silly as the way the doors close, the way the knobs feel when you turn them. Everything is just really well built and put together. So it's worth the extra dollars to have that Volkswagen feel inside the GTI. And there's the Autobahn edition, there's specialty things you can get, whatever, but at the heart of it is that engine and how it drives and how it feels. And you can compare it to Mini, which I would, the Cooper S, that feeling, that go-kart feeling. It really is just so well weighted and just really well put together. I'm super excited to drive the next generation to see if they can improve on this perfection that already existed for so long. Pretty sure they will. All in all, though, this GTI, I've had an amazing week with it. The manual transmission just adds that little extra level of control while you're driving, and that little bit more involvement on the driver's side with your engine, with the car, with how it feels when it drives, and it just kind of pushes it over the edge in terms of that fun behind the wheel. So if you are looking at the GTI, the DSG is great, and I've driven it with that as well, but the manual really kind of just pushes it that much more over the top and makes it that much more exciting. So you definitely want to drive this thing with the 6-speed manual. So inside the Volkswagen GTI, you find typical Volkswagen fare. So you guys have probably seen my e-Golf review. That's our personal car. And I believe I've had a Golf over the last year. Don't quite remember, but Volkswagens are pretty much identical across the line. They get a little bit larger as the models increase in size, obviously. but you'll find all the same bits and pieces and the same knobs. And this of course has the flat bottom steering wheel because it is the GTI. I get the nice contrast red stitching on my steering wheel, on the doors, on the seats. They're nicely bolstered, which is comfortable for that spirited driving. And otherwise, yeah, it's kind of simple in here, and you all know me, I like simple. So I like the screen. It is the larger 8.3 inch, I believe, touchscreen color. Super simple to connect to Apple CarPlay. It has the option of either plugging with the USB, or you can wirelessly connect CarPlay with Bluetooth, which I find super efficient. It's much better than the BMW system was that I had a couple of months ago. It hasn't dropped at all. Every time I've been in the car, it's connected, stays connected, nothing craps out. So it's done very well. Of course, because I have the manual, I have the really cool golf ball shifter. I love this thing. It's comfortable to hold. It's unique. It's different than any other shifter out there. And of course, the gears itself, the manual transmission itself is so nice to drive. It's really just smooth in all respects. Like even if you happen to, I don't know, not miss a gear, but don't shift as smoothly as you'd like to, it's kind of like the car's like, oh no, I got you, it's fine, we'll still make this a nice smooth transition, and it keeps you going in a nice fashion. So on the steering wheel here too, I've got the mimicked honeycomb grill, kind of like the same pattern as the golf ball, just kind of along the car. It's also mimicked in the door. So it's just a nod to Volkswagen's heritage and what it's always been associated with the GTI. Now, of course, had the cloth interior with the plaid stitching, or the plaid fabric rather, that would have just taken it to a whole other level. But I have the leather seats, which are nice, kind of hot when it's warm out, but you know, again, very comfortable. There's a decent amount of space in here. I've got huge cubbies in the doors. I've got a small armrest, but whatever. The back seat's a little bit cramped, but again, this is a hatchback. So my son doesn't have a huge amount of legroom, but it's got a really nice moonroof. I have a good amount of headroom, and there is a decent sized trunk. I've got it loaded right now, as you see. And it handles quite a bit of stuff. Again, you got the height because of the hatch, and put those rear seats down, and you'll be able to pick up your IKEA goods, your Home Depot goods, or even take it camping for the weekend, which I think I've done in the past with the Golf. So it is super efficient, and I have, the Fender system in here. So I love this sound system with Volkswagen, and honestly, they originally partnered with Fender for the new Beetle, the new Beetle, like in 2014, I believe. And the Fender system was put in the Beetle specifically because of its shape. So it acted almost like an amphitheater because it was so rounded, and it contained the sound, and it really amplified it. And it was amazing in the Beetle. And then it started to trickle down into other models. My father's Jetta TDI has the Fender system, and this one has the Fender system. So it sounds a bit different in each vehicle because of the interior shape, but the Volkswagen has that has a similar shape to the Beetle, not as rounded, of course, but it still has that nice contained and centered feeling. So all the sound is coming at you from all directions all the time, and it's so deep and rich, and it's a really nice system. Like, if for any Volkswagen, if you have the option to pony up for the Fender sound system, I recommend that you do. It's worth it. It makes all the difference. But other than that, yeah, it's a Volkswagen through and through. And like I said, this is the last time for the Mark 7. So this design is going to go out the window, and the Mark 8 is going to come up, and it'll be new. It's still going to be recognizable, still going to be Volkswagen, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be fantastic. So pretty sure at this point you realize that I'm a big fan of the GTI and the Golf in general. The Mark 7 redesign was a fabulous cleanup of an already pretty cool hatchback, and this GTI design. And really, honestly, it looks like every other Golf. It has the same shape. It's not like it has flared fenders or a hood scoop or a massive wing out the back. You know, Volkswagen is so subtle about its design cues, and with the GTI, it's really about these little red accents. So from the GTI badge on the side to the red line across the front grille, the little red lines inside the headlights, you know, those little things really make the vehicle stand out, especially against this cornflower blue. Now, if you're going to get a GTI, you're going to get it in this color, because honestly, it looks so hot on the road. You know, it catches attention everywhere it goes, and even if it's dirty. It was covered in snow earlier this week. Yep, in April. And it still looked so sexy. And really, there's no harsh lines with the GTI. And again, I like that about it. There's so many angular, modern-looking cars on the road these days, but somehow Volkswagen has managed to have that same aggressive, modern look without adding all these angles and wings and vents and scoops and things. It's just they've kept it simple. But this color, man, it really, really makes it pop. And I would be hard pressed to buy this GTI in any other color but this. All right, guys, well, that's been it for me and the 2021 Volkswagen GTI in cornflower blue. As always, if you guys have any questions or comments, hit me up at Miss Miranda L on Twitter or Instagram, Miranda Lightstone on Facebook.com, or drop a comment below, and I hope to see you guys back next week. Enjoy the sunshine.